dollar, that's what I need. I need a dollar, that's what I need. I need a dollar, that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me? Bad times are coming and I reap what I done sow. But let me tell you something, all that glitters ain't gold. It's been a long road, long old troublesome road, and I'm looking for somebody to come and help me carry the load. I need a dollar, that's what I need. I need a dollar, that's what I need. I need a dollar, that's what I need. If I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me? I don't know if I'm walking on solid ground, 'cause everything around me is falling down. All I want is for someone to help me. I had a job, but the boss man let me go. He said, I'm sorry, but I won't be needing no help no more. I said, please, Mr. Boss Man, I need a job more than you know. He gave me my last paycheck and he sent me on out the door. I need a dollar, that's what I need. I need a dollar, that's what I need. I need a dollar, that's what I need. I'll share with you my story, you share a dollar with me. I don't know if I'm walking on solid ground, 'cause everything around me is falling down. All I want is for someone to help me. What in the world am I gonna do tomorrow? Is there someone whose dollar I can borrow? Who can help me take away my sorrow? Maybe it's inside the bottle. Maybe it's inside the bottle. Hey, 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 share your dollar with me.
I met this girl late last year. She said, don't you worry if I disappear. I told her I'm not really looking for another mistake. Called an old friend thinking that the trouble would wait. Then I walked back in a week later, returned. I reckon she was only looking for a lover to burn. So I gave her my time for 2 or 3 nights. Then I put her on pause until the moment was right. Went away 4 months until I saw us false again. Told me I was never looking for a friend. my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. Don't with my love. I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. For a couple weeks I only wanna see her. We drank away the days with the takeaway pizza. Before a text message was the only way to reach her. Now she's staying at my place and loves the way I treat her. Singing out Aretha all over the track like a feature. Never wants to sleep, I guess that I don't want you either. Me and her, we make money the same way. 4 cities, 2 planes the same day. But those shows have never been what it's about. But maybe we'll get together and just figure it out. I'd rather put on a film with you and sit on the couch. But we should get on the plane or we'll be missing it now. So I've written it down the way that things played out. When she was kissing him, how I was confused about. She should figure it out while I'm sat here singing. Don't with my love. That heart is so cold. All over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. With my love, I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. On my hotel door, I don't even know if she knows what for. She was crying on my shoulder. I already told you, trust and respect is what we do this for. I never intended to be next, but you didn't need to take him to bed, that's all. And I never saw him as a threat until you disappeared with him to hang out, of course. It's not like we were both on tour. We were staying on the same hotel floor. And I wasn't looking for a promise or commitment, but it was never just fun and I thought you were different. This is not the way you realize what you wanted. It's a bit too much, too late if I'm honest. And all this time, God knows I'm singing. With my love, that heart is so cold. All over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. Don't with my love. I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. Oh, could have been, but you ain't loyal. I'm sick and tired, cause you can't just toy with my love and expect me just to turn the other way. Every night my soul's on fire. I find myself always in denial. My love, I don't wanna know that, babe. Don't with my love. That heart is so cold. All over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. Don't with my love. I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. I love my la.
and white on the field, showing our Spartan pride. I'd like to now turn things over to Superintendent of Schools, Patrick McGrath.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Students, thanks for being here and joining us out here on the field. It's just like Burnt Hills that I think we have more people out here on the field than even in the stands. Parents and staff, community members, alumni, and special guests. Welcome to the Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake Centennial celebration and the official opening of Centennial Field. My name is Patrick McGrath. I'm the 6th Superintendent of Schools of the Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake School District. I'd like to thank and welcome my predecessor, Mr. James Schultz, who joins us today with his wife, Susan. Sitting next to Mr. Schultz is the 4th Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Bill Hostetter, and his wife, Grace. They joined us all the way from Pittsburgh, and we really appreciate them being here. Mr. Hostetter's predecessor, Dr. Richard O'Rourke, was the 3rd superintendent and served from 1969 until 1994. He sends his best regards and cannot be with us today. He did join us on stage at the opening day of school, and it was great to see him. I'd also like to welcome and thank my 2 assistant superintendents, Chris Abdu, who oversees all of our support services, and Mary Ellen Seimer, who oversees the district's curriculum and instruction. As you look around this facility here on this beautiful morning, I'd like you to consider a passage from an essay written by Lieutenant Commander Claude Bailey in 1911. The purpose of that essay was to make the case that the students of this community deserved better than what they were getting at the time. See, then, students in this community received something up to an 8th grade education in small one-room schoolhouses. Bailey wrote, "The school buildings are poor, unsanitary, and ill-equipped. Supervision is inadequate. High school privileges are denied to a great majority of these boys and girls, and the school buildings are poorly ventilated and small. The walls are bare and unattractive, the floors rough and dirty, the entrances uninviting. There are no playgrounds, except for the highways where dust and traffic endanger the lives of our children. The outhouses are a menace to health and morals." Bailey continues, "To those who seek a higher education, higher than elementary, this community offers nothing. If their parents are well-to-do and disposed to spend in the neighborhood of $100 per year, they may be sent to nearby cities, where they, in the most formative and critical period of their lives, age 14 to 18, may acquire habits and ideas for life that are not deemed for their best interest. The children of poor members of the community are completely barred from high school, just as they are from college, the expense being prohibitive. It has been found," says Bailey, "that the 3 districts combined, Burnt Hills number 1, number 11, and Clifton Park number 8, though having an annual enrollment of nearly 100 pupils, have but 8 high school graduates in 10 years, less than 1 in each year. It is this view of the whole subject that has prompted the proposition of consolidating the 3 school districts in the belief that the combined district might be able to do what each district itself could not." The essay goes on to make the argument for consolidation in great detail, and then concludes, "I cannot believe that anyone needs to be convinced that a consolidated school district as outlined above would be a vast improvement over the little schools as now run, that the training received would be better, and that there would be an increase of interest and pride in school and community, and that property in the district would be enhanced in value." Lieutenant Commander Claude Bailey, who saw action in the Spanish-American War in 1898, served in the Navy until 1904. He was employed by General Electric. He moved to Burnt Hills, and he bought Forecastle Farms in 1906. He was a huge force, with others, behind the creation of our school district. For 4 years from the writing of that essay, he worked to convince the community of the wisdom in consolidating the 3 schools. His calls, his pleas for a better school system eventually won the day. In September of 1915, the State Education Department approved the application for consolidation of the Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake School District. It was the first consolidated school district in New York State. Lieutenant Commander Bailey lived to the age of 96, passing away in 1963. He had the opportunity to see the original School of Agriculture and Homemaking built on Lake Road in 1916. After a fire in 1928, he saw that school replaced by a bigger building which hosted the whole district for several decades and is now the Stevens Elementary School, named for the district's first superintendent, Frank Stevens. He saw Pashley built in 1951, Charlton Heights and Glenhaven built in 1958, and the junior high, now O'Rourke Middle School, built in 1961. So here we stand today, 100 years since it all began. As I said recently into an email to Bob Bailey, the lieutenant commander's grandson, who lives here in our district, seeing the district flourish so vibrantly must have made your grandfather so proud. Look around at this beautiful field, completed as part of Phase 2A in the Building Our Second Century project. We're on the verge of beginning Phase 2B, which will bring nearly $20 million of improvement to the high school behind us, a building that was constructed again in 1951. I'm sorry, 55. So the work that was done now will continue that work because the community rose to the challenge of Lieutenant Commander Claude Bailey in 1915. The community continued this support throughout the decades of the 20th century, and the community continues to rise to that challenge today. We seek to work together, parents, teachers, community members, and school leaders, to create a world-class education for our children right here in our own community, because that is the Burton Hills way. I'd like to thank Mr. Peter Giroux and Miss Ann Derrick for arranging our music today, and I'd like to ask everyone to please rise. Gentlemen, remove your caps as we hear the performance of our national anthem by the Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake Choir.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Representing all of the students currently enrolled at Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake, from our kindergarten class of 2028 to the senior class of 2016, I'm proud to introduce to you Casey Doherty, student representative to the school board and current president of the student government organization.
Not many students get to experience a milestone in their school's history quite like this one. The Centennial is special for the entire student body, more so for the graduating senior class. Many members of the class of 2016 have begun the college application process and are often prompted to discuss their background and community by questions such as describe where you have lived or elaborate on how your community has shaped you. Thanks to these questions, I have found myself thinking about Burnt Hills. I've lived here all my life, brought home from the hospital to a house in Glenville, watched my parents build a house in Charlton, attended Charlton Heights Elementary School, then O'Rourke Middle School, and now I stand before you, a Burnt Hills High School senior. There are many kids like me who have never known home to be anywhere but Burnt Hills. For this, we should be most grateful. Growing up in the Burnt Hills community has shaped me into the person I am today. 100 years ago, the Burnt Hills School District began molding young people into formidable, capable young adults, largely due to the impact of the teachers and administrators. Our school district would not thrive without the sense of security and motivations that our teachers provide. I could rattle off a list of teachers who continuously check up on me, not questioning me about the homework they assign, or rather wondering how my college process is going, or in a certain teacher's case, sending text messages reminding me to stop stressing and get some sleep. Throughout their years in the Burnt Hills School District, students are wholeheartedly supported by their teachers and the surrounding community members. It is common to look out across the bleachers at a sporting event and see faculty and parents of alumni cheering on the Spartans. So what is Burnt Hills? Where do we come from? The Burnt Hills School District is home to the classrooms where we discovered our interests in certain academic disciplines. The Burnt Hills fields are where we learned how to gracefully win and almost just as gracefully lose. The Burnt Hills Auditorium is where we develop our more artistic talents and applauded the creativity of others. Every student has their own memories and attachments to the district. We all have our own sense of home. My mother, who graduated from Burnt Hills in 1983, says there is nothing more important than being a part of something. At Burnt Hills, it is hard to not be a part of something. The sense of community is incredibly apparent at sporting events, musical and drama performances, at club meetings, and in the hallways. It is for this sense of community that Burnt Hills alumni choose to raise their own families here. I am confident that a number of my peers will decide to return to Burnt Hills after obtaining a college degree, entering the workforce, or serving in the military. Many of the kids I've grown up with will enroll their own children in kindergarten at Burnt Hills. They will watch their children step on the school bus for the first time and maybe even follow behind in their cars, the way my mother did. They will attend sporting events, musical and drama performances, art exhibits, and award ceremonies, brimming with pride for their Burnt Hills Spartan. The sheer number of successful young Spartans and proud Spartan parents throughout the last century is proof that, at least for Burnt Hills, home is where the heart is. Students at Burnt Hills are supported, motivated, and challenged by the foundation we have laid as a district over the last century, one that has been marked by great change and great triumph. We stand here today on a beautiful turf field that will foster student-athlete success for many years to come. I am looking forward to returning to Burnt Hills throughout my college years to witness the spectacular updates to the district. The class of 2016 will leave Burnt Hills having been afforded a year with the turf field and a lifetime of wisdom from the Burnt Hills community. I speak on behalf of the Burnt Hills student population when I say thank you to the entire community for 100 years of support, confidence, and spirit. I hope that when I'm older, I can return to homecoming and listen to another student explain what being a Spartan means to them. I'm confident it would sound something like this. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey. And I'd like to also ask our audience to give a round of applause for the students behind me who represent the students from all throughout the last century. Appreciate them being here this morning. There are thousands and thousands of alumni of this fine district. Some live and raise their own families here in Burnt Hills. Others live across the nation and even the world. They are accomplished in every conceivable field. Last year, a gentleman from Florida contacted me and asked if we needed any help preparing for the Centennial. Told him yes, as a matter of fact, we did, and his help has been invaluable. He's here with us today. Representing the thousands of alumni of Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake, please welcome from the class of 1969, John Rhodes.
It is with great pleasure that I represent the past, getting ready for the future. I represent nearly 17,000 alumni from this wonderful institution, and I'm very proud to say that I am a Spartan. Yes, a few phone calls last fall got me into helping them write a book, helping them do a video, and oh, by the way, little did I know, a trip to the podium. Over the past year, I had the privilege of interviewing students, teachers, administrators from across the years. The words that they used to describe our school and its culture focused around words like respect, encouragement, professionalism, and a sense of community. They also had a passion for excellence in both academics and sports. In fact, I heard that almost 85% of the students are actually involved in athletics, and many of them involved in arts and other areas of extracurricular activity, which says, wow, to be a Spartan is to be a superstar. They also said it's important for sportsmanship and integrity, and I've heard we've won the sportsmanship award many more times than once. During many of the interviews, I was totally impressed, but one young girl from the 5th grade said her teacher just made coming to school fun. And you know what, at the end of the day, what's wrong with having fun while you're learning? Whether you graduated in 1935, 1965, like my sister, or 2015, we are all afforded the opportunity to work hard and reach for our individual goals and dreams. You know, there's one thing I've learned is that education is a team effort. And I would be amiss if I didn't tell you to set aside some time today to think about and thank the faculty, office staff, bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria staff, administrators, the Board of Education, parents, members of the community, our wonderful government leaders that are here today, local churches and other civic and religious organizations that have certainly helped make a vital contribution to helping students become mature adults. I would also like to recognize the many, many local businesses, including the gentleman who's going to raise this banner here in a second, that have helped us raise money for our programs. You know, some businesses in this community have helped this school for over 50 years. I just think it's great that we ought to give an applause for our local vendors. Our students face both challenges and opportunities that help shape the knowledge and skills that they acquire while in this community, and then in turn go out into the world and not only make a living, but serve those that are less fortunate. And the interesting thing was, when I was talking to fifth graders or junior high or senior high, they all mentioned the fact that they wanted to use their skills to help people in society. Wow, what a culture you're creating here to help bring these kids out into the world to make this world a better place. Now, looking forward into the next century for our school, and we will have another century, I have a few challenges for each one of you. To the alumni, be engaged with the school as mentors, volunteers, and supporters as you are. To our incredible current faculty, staff, and amazing Board of Education, stay the course, folks. You are doing a tremendous job in continually making this school district a place of choice among the capital region. And to our local government officials, strive to work closely with our educators and other stakeholders to further enhance the quality of life in each of the 4 towns and 2 counties that you represent. I thank you all for coming. Enjoy the day and the events planned, but I would be totally amiss in not saying, maroon and white, go Spartans.
I'd like to acknowledge here now the members of our school board. If you could each please rise and remain standing to receive applause as a group. Board President John Blowers, Board Vice President Peter Sawyer, Board Member Leanne Mertzloff, Board Member Jen Bratt, Board Member Jennifer Longton, and Board Member Will Farmer. Thank you for the work that you do. They're here and they represent board members from across the past century who worked extremely hard in an often thankless position to represent the community, you leading our schools. Local school board control is a critical tenet of successful schools in our state. It was the local school board that built the first school and the local school board that provides leadership still. Here to offer a few thoughts is the president of the New York State School Boards Association, Tim Kramer.
What a beautiful day for an anniversary celebration. I've been to your school district about 3 or 4 times. There's always something very special occurring here. Every time I come here, I am so impressed with the professionalism of the school board and the staff and the pride that emanates from this community. The Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake School District is a very special place indeed. Thank you for allowing me to participate in your Centennial celebration. And I especially want to acknowledge Board President John Blowers, who invited me here today. I've come to know John through his school board service as well as his leadership with junior achievement. John is the embodiment of a model citizen who is paying it forward for his community and your children. Thank you, John. The Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake School District and the New York State School Boards Association share a history of public service. More than 100 years ago, NYSBA, as we're known, was formed to represent the interests of local boards of education and the children of New York State. And like Burnt Hills, Ballston Lake, NYSBA is proud of our rich heritage of providing advocacy, information, training, and consulting services for our members. NYSBA would not exist without our member school boards, including the Burnt Hills, Ballston Lake Board. Countless school board members have contributed their time and talents to our association, including one of your own, who made a very special contribution. Many of you remember the late Bob Speck, who served on the Burnt Hills, Ballston Lake School Board for 36 years. Bob also served on our NYSBA's Board of Directors for nearly 10 years, and I'm proud to have called him a friend. In fact, Bob was on the board that hired me back in 1998 and was one of my biggest supporters, and I will always be in his debt. Like John, Bob understood the value the school boards provide to their local communities and the students they serve. I am confident that your entire school board is dedicated to the mission that every child be prepared for whatever awaits him or her after graduation, that your schools are safe havens, that every staff member is highly qualified and provided the necessary resources and support. Today, we not only appreciate the past, we also embrace the future. I offer my congratulations to the Burnt Hills, Ballston Lake school community on your centennial milestone. Here's to the next 100 years.
I'd like to welcome several of our community and business leaders who've joined us up front here to be part of our celebration. Please rise and recognize Town of Ballston Deputy Supervisor Tim Sapanik, Town of Glenville Supervisor Chris Kexley, President and CEO of Southern Saratoga Chamber of Commerce Pete Bardunias, the Vice President of the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake Business Professionals Association, Rick Noel, and Executive Director of Junior Achievement of Northeast New York, Ed Murray. Throughout the history of our district, the New York State Legislature, the Assembly, and the Senate play an important role in the success of our schools. In fact, it was the passage of that first Central School Act in 1914 that paved the way for the consolidation that we talked about earlier. Our current legislators, member of the Assembly Jim Tedesco and Senator Hugh Farley, have been great supporters of BHBL in the legislature. This past summer, they co-sponsored a resolution to honor Burnt Hills Ballston Lake's important milestone. Please welcome Assemblyman Tedesco and Robert Geddes representing Senator Farley.
First of all, let me congratulate the entire Burnt Hills Ballston Lake family and school district on 100 years of excellence in education. You know, in every single poll that they do when they ask all of us and average citizens about what are your worst fears, right up there in the top 10 worst fears are getting up in front of a whole group of people at a podium and speaking and making a speech. In fact, it's number one usually. Unfortunately for a public servant, our worst fear is that we won't get asked to stand up in front of a podium, in front of a whole group of people and make a speech. The reason why I say that is I also want to thank the Burnt Hills Ballston Lake School District for sending me Casey Doherty, who is an intern in my office right now, doing an outstanding job and really bodes well for what takes place in the school district and what her and the future of the many kids who come out of this school and graduate is going to be. Now, I think some of my staff people are a little bit worried. I have Mike Keneally over here, one of my staff people. It could be time to actually hire Casey to work in my office after that speech. Congratulations to you, Casey. That was a beautiful speech. And I'm going to tell Casey that in every endeavor, everything you strive for in your future, just call on me and I'll do everything I possibly can to support you in that endeavor, except for one. Don't ever run for the New York State Assembly in the 112th Assembly District, because I won't have a chance. You know, as I was coming in, I saw a sign out in front about the future. And last night, while I was watching the playoffs for our great national pastime, baseball, I couldn't help but think but the icon who we just lost a couple of weeks ago, Yogi Berra. And Yogi had a lot of things to say. Some of them were funny, some individuals laughed at him, but a lot of them made sense when you thought about it. When I think about the 100th anniversary of the Hills-Ballston Lake School District, what draws to my mind is the saying that he said was when he said, "It's never over until it's over." And really, when you look at 100 years, this is not the end of an era for Hills-Ballston Lake in terms of educational excellence. This is the beginning of the continuation and expansion of the excellence that you've had here as a school district. I want to congratulate your Superintendent McGrath, John Blowers, your entire school board. Of course, most important, your teachers and your educators, the moms and the dads and the families and your PTOs and PTAs, especially the kids who dedicate themselves to learning. You are creating and developing a tremendous product. You're preparing the kids for the future in an unbelievable way. Myself and Senator Farley couldn't be prouder than to be in the Senate and the Assembly chambers and be able to stand up and say, we represent Hills-Ballston Lake School District, a level of excellence. On behalf of myself, and I know Senator Farley and his representative is here, I'd like to have the superintendent come up if he could. We have passed unanimously in the Senate, and I have copies for the superintendent and all the school board members here, a resolution. You should know in the Senate and the Assembly, this resolution passed unanimously. Nothing passes unanimously in the New York State Legislature. I don't know the federal government, Paul, but we have our problems in some instances in that sense. But this one did. So that gives you an indication of the respect you have. And what we also did was frame a beautiful proclamation which relates to that from the New York State Assembly in honor of Hills-Ballston Lake School District on its 100th anniversary. So congratulations to all. But remember this is not the end. This is the continuation of the excellence you provide here in a whole variety of ways. And I think we'll see that at about 2:30 when the football team plays. Go Spartans! Congratulations.
On behalf of Senator Farley, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. An anniversary for anybody in a marriage or a company or in a school district is a time to reflect on your past as well as your future. Just stop to pause for a moment. 100 years ago, you had 16 one-room schoolhouses. 16 one-room schoolhouses. And those that were financially able to go beyond the 8th grade, they had to take a train to Ballston or to Schenectady to continue their education. You've done well. You've done proud by your community and yourselves. Look at you where you stand today with a beautiful field and all the improvements to your school. You certainly have earned your reward of sense of pride in your community. You've come a long way in the last 100 years. Congratulations.
Always a friend of education and a tireless public servant for our region. Please welcome our United States Congressman, Paul Tonko.
Thank you, Superintendent, and good morning, everybody. What a great day. What a great spirit of celebration. And it's just a joy to be with all of you from the community, and in particular with your superintendent and all of the administrators of this fantastic school system, to be with John and members of the School Board Association, and to have that even more broadly expressed by Tim Kramer, with whom I had the pleasure of working as an advocate for the New York School Boards Association, you know, all reminding us, as John Rhodes did with his comments about memorabilia here and the sense of pride that exists, and as Casey Doherty indicated, this intent, the purpose of education and the promise that it holds all of its members of the student body. So it is indeed an honor to celebrate in Spartan pride and Spartan fever, to don my best maroon tie I could find, and to stand here with all of you and applaud the investment. We celebrate investment. Investment in a generation that will pronounce yet another bit of legacy from this powerful school system. And isn't it awesomely reflected by this Hills-Ballston Lake High School choir? What a tremendous rendition of the national anthem, reminding us that education is holistic. It's about the arts. Standing on this field, which is soon to be dedicated to Centennial Field, it's about athletics. And certainly, as we did hear from Casey and see this semblance of all the student body, it's about the academics. So congratulations to a powerful community making a powerful statement of the value added that education provides, strengthening us as a nation, strengthening us as a state and a community. You know, an anonymous source some time ago had said that education is the drawing forth of the soul of the individual. And isn't that a powerful statement? To all of the educators, those who reinforce that message in the classroom as assistants, to all of those who invest through various aspects of work here in the system, through a routine effort to make certain that Hills-Ballston Lakes runs extremely well, congratulations. You're continuing in that foundation of effort that will be there to reinforce our students and to serve as a launching pad. You know, this sense of drawing forth of the soul of the individual is about self-discovery. Discovery of who I am as an individual. What are my gifts, my talents, my abilities, my likes, my passions that can make a difference so that I can offer myself to a better world and a better society. That's the message driven constantly by this school system. A very strong academic center that has the power of athletics and the arts to make it a truly strong reinforcement for young minds and young people. I have with me a proclamation that speaks to the wonderful treasure of this 100th anniversary, acknowledging that sense of consolidation, if you will, where a team came together as a community, individuals with spirited feelings of the power of education, the importance of education, coming together and saying, look, we need to be more effective, we need to be more efficient. And they did it in a way that was very structured and thoughtful. They reached to their government, asking the state government through the education department and the legislature to make this approval. And so what became a one consolidated district, the first in the state of New York, was made more effective by taking this multiple of single schoolhouses and making certain that they were brought together into an array that didn't have students having to travel to Ballston, Spa, or Schenectady, and had, again, a more centralized opportunity location for their development. And so today we recognize and applaud that history of going from one building at the site of the Stevens Elementary School to now 5 buildings, and going from serving 36 students to now over 3,000. That is tradition. That is history. That is certainly a legacy of commitment by a community that understands and values and prioritizes education for its young people. It's no wonder there's that sense of pride here. Well, people will continue to come back as a group of individuals called alums of Hills-Ballston Lake that will always treasure the sense of beginnings, the discovery, the hope that is held here to be able to go out and serve your world, your nation, your state, your community in expression that is unique to you, and having been driven and developed and fostered and nurtured and sustained by Hills-Ballston Lake School System. Congratulations. It's an honor to present a proclamation from the House of Representatives acknowledging this centennial anniversary of Hills-Ballston Lake, and it's an honor to be here as you rededicate this field, the Centennial Field, speaking to the history, the rich golden history of this great school system. Congratulations, everyone. I'm glad to serve you in Washington.
Okay, so it just occurred to me that we're all sitting down, you guys are all sitting down, and the only people who are standing through the whole ceremony are the students. So I want to let you guys know, and you don't have programs, so you don't see that we're actually very close to being done. So we appreciate it. I'd like to introduce a parent of a current teacher, a retired teacher himself, and the town of Ballston historian to help us officially celebrate the Centennial with the presentation of a historic marker that's here to my left. Mr. Rick Reynolds.
100 years ago. It was 100 years ago that Claude Bailey, whom Patrick has already mentioned, the founder of Folkcastle Farms and the first Board of Education president for this school district, he realized we needed a better education here in Burn Hills than what existed. It was 100 years ago that two men picked up the stakes that were to be the four corners of the new school, which we now call Stevens, moved them back away from the road. He did that because he did not want students to be harmed or disturbed by the newest technology of our time, the automobile. It was 100 years ago that parents were willing to pay a whopping $25 a year to send their children to the brand new school district in Ballston, the School of Agriculture and Homemaking. It was 100 years ago that two students started as ninth graders, and 4 years later became the two graduates of the BHBL school. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, two graduates in our first graduating class. It was almost 100 years ago that BHBL yearbooks were called the Hilltop, because the school, the only one that existed at that time, was at the top of the hill coming up from Ballston Lake, the Hilltop. Yes, 100 years ago all of this happened, but today is not about the past.
For things that Tom did to make sure that this facility opened up. Every athlete who steps on this field can think about a great guy who really put his heart into this thing. I'm also going to give a few more names because they're real important. Tara Mitchell, class of '92. She designed the program and all the PR work for this. Also responsible for the book, the beautiful 100 Memories Centennial book. Stacy Bonnie, our community liaison. Nagar Hale, Todd Bucci, Pete Giroux, Jackie Martini. Jackie's a class of '72. Tim Sinnenberg, class of '85. John Rhodes, class of '69. Rick Reynolds, Christy Malter, John Blowers, class of '83. Kate Gurley, Jason LaPietro, class of '92. Madison Adams and Luke LaBelle, class of 2016. Carrie Sunkus, class of '95. Dante DePremio, class of '87. Heidi Brower, class of '98. Tim Brunson, and John Antoski. Also, please note the event sponsors in your program, a bunch of great businesses who helped us put this day on. So on August 18th, this year, August 18th, the school board passed a resolution officially naming this facility Centennial Field. It becomes the centerpiece of the Walter Reed Fields. Walter Reed, he was the one I haven't mentioned, was the second superintendent of our district. You know, trains and trolleys were a big part of the BHBL heritage, and before we go, I'd like you to imagine just for a moment, sitting here in this very place, 1915, I understand it was an apple orchard at the time. Perhaps you hear the blast of a train whistle on the local to Ballston Spa or Schenectady. Please direct your attention to the track in front of you. Athletic Director Joe Scalise is pulling the BHBL victory horn. A special thank you to community member Dan Roos for donating the Leslie RS3L train horn that he refurbished specifically for BHBL. Many thanks also to CBM Fabrications, AJ Signs, and Burn Hills Upholstery for their help with the project. Each time you hear this horn ring, we hope you will be reminded of our history and of the great victory that has been achieved in the formation and growth of this incredible school district. We'll let Joe get into his position there. He has to aim those horns just right. Let's see you back it up, Joe. Okay. Now please direct your attention to the Danny Ward scoreboard. We have mounted a new sign on top of the scoreboard as a testament to this great milestone in our district's history. And now let's count down from 5 to unveil the new scoreboard sign and then sound the BHBL victory horn. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you all for coming and enjoy the rest of the day.
Alright. So I think, are these all full right now? Alright. These ones are all going to be these ones are here. Have they just changed okay. It works best for us.
So I had over ladder come in. I said, propose you give me a quick change basket, a small one I can put up in there, or a ladder step. I gave all kinds of solutions. They didn't want to hear nothing.
Go Spartans!
Hale, and siblings Mark and Sophia Leveroni and brother Sam Hale. Next we have Ben Shire with parents Steve and Haysuk and brother Zachary. Next we have Joe Masseri with parents Mark and Robert Allen and sisters Abigail, Madeline, and Hannah. Next we have John Clayton with his parents Dave and Colleen and brother Jeremy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to our 2015 Burn Hills senior football players and cheerleaders. Congratulations to everyone.
Today is truly about the present and about the future. Throughout these past 100 years, it has been the BHBL community that has demanded quality education for the students of this area. And I am sure that it will continue to be that community that will demand education for futures now and into the future. History is not about the past, ladies and gentlemen. It is about now. And today we celebrate not about the past, but about the future. And thank you to the whole BHBL community for giving all of us the opportunity to be the best of all. Patrick? For all of these reasons, I am proud today to present to our superintendent the historic marker right here. This will commemorate this year, 2015, as the 100th birthday of the BHBL School District. The marker will soon be erected at the high school, the future site of the BHBL district offices. And for those of you who can't read it from where you are, let me read it to you. Centennial 2015 started as the Burnt Hills-Ballston Lake School of Agriculture and Homemaking in 1915. Became the Central Rural School District in 1925. And this sign is being erected by the town of Ballston and the BHBL Central School District. Congratulations, Patrick, and thank you for continuing BHBL traditions.
Thank you, Rick. And we'll be moving that outside by the Walter Reed gates very soon so that it's over to this side of the building, out of the way of the construction that's going to be beginning in the spring at the other end. So now for our closing remarks, please welcome Board President John Blowers.
Thank you, Superintendent McGrath. What a great day to be a Spartan. On behalf of the Board of Education, I hope you enjoy this great day of festivities, a day which has been 100 years in the making. In true Burnt Hills fashion, there's been about 20 people behind the scenes that make all this possible. If you were on the Centennial Committee, if you could just rise for a moment and get a well-deserved round of applause. I realize some knees are buckling behind me, so we're going to keep this brief, but Burnt Hills BHBL, it's 4 simple letters that have come to mean so much to so many of us. I've been thinking about these letters as we've reached this milestone. Think about the first B, best. We endeavor to be the best. We aren't the wealthiest district. We don't have the largest enrollment. What we do have is an expectation of excellence in everything we do. Each and every day, we strive to be the best at how each of us contributes to this district. H, honor. We honor those traditions that make us great, and we honor those who make this community great. We see this in simple acts, such as when the students honor our veterans in a formal ceremony, or by honoring traditions such as shared decision-making, and what it truly means to operate in the Burnt Hills way. The second B, brand. Companies wonder, what is our corporate brand? What's our community brand? What's our employment brand? Well, here we have a district brand, and that brand is, we are Spartans. And that means something. It comes through in how we conduct ourselves, both within this district, as well as when we represent this district at other schools, our workplaces, and communities throughout the world. And finally, L, leadership. We are leaders in how we move this district forward, together. It's this, right here, students demonstrating leadership in the classroom, on the athletic fields, and on stage. Staff, board, and administration leading with a commitment to excellence and student centricity. Business, education, and political leaders coming together to find creative solutions to educational challenges, and community leaders who challenge this district to continuously be better, all with one singular purpose, higher student achievement. Because we know that an educated society is a successful and sustainable society. I'll close with this quote from a few years ago. An automobile manufacturer said, as GM goes, so goes the nation. Well, in this area, as the school district goes, so goes the community. And as for the district's first 100 years, I'd say it goes pretty well. Here's to a great start to our second century of community and educational excellence. Have a great time today.
All right, so we have something special now. Beverly Out graduated from Hills-Ballston Lake in 1948. She joins us today. She worked for 25 years throughout the school district, and after graduating from Burnt Hills, she lived here the rest of her life. As a student, she was known as the go-to music student. She was always the person who accompanied all of her classmates in the alma mater. Now, everyone behind me, whether you guys are seniors and you'll be singing the alma mater in a few months at SPAC, or every other student that's here, you will at least be singing it there. I've heard that Mr. Brunson was considering singing it over the loudspeaker a couple of times during the year, just to get you guys familiar with it. But we thought we'd do the real thing right now. Please give a warm welcome to Beverly Out. She will accompany the BHBL choir in the alma mater. The words can be found in your program, and please sing along. So that a member of the class of 1948 singing with members of the class of 2016, 17, 18, and 19. It's pretty cool. Let's have everyone come forward here for the ribbon cutting to officially open the field. If I could have everyone kind of surround me behind the ribbon.
Jackie.
Everybody, look at me. Me.
Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, you know.
Look at me, everybody.
Okay, one more piece of business to take care of. Before we do that, you did hear John mention the Centennial Committee